Hey guys, this is Cam315 back at it with another video for you guys, and I'm back with a review series for you guys. And if you're new to this, well, I've done it for One Piece, and I did it for Fairy Tail, and now I'm doing it for this set of thing. Which, in all honesty, I have to still do it again for One Piece for the movies and the specials, and then I'm also gonna do it for Dragon Ball Z as well. And also maybe I'll think about redoing my Dragon Ball Z arc reviews as well and stuff like that. But anyways, we are here to talk about one of the most biggest popular series in the world, anime, video games, card game. That is Pokemon. Pokemon obviously holds a special place in my heart because I love Pokemon. It's one of my favorite shows to watch, and I definitely get a kick out of watching and playing the game. Obviously, as of now, the most recent Pokemon game that has came out is Pokemon Legends Arceus, which I think, in my honest opinion, is the best Pokemon game, hands down, out of all the Pokemon games we've gotten. Because for some reason, Game Freak actually put time and development into a Pokemon game instead of just trying to rush it out for a quick buck. So, yeah, maybe I'll just do, maybe also I'll do Pokemon video game reviews and stuff like that. I don't know. We'll see. I don't have all the Pokemon games, but some of my favorites and stuff like that. So, yeah, but anyways, we're talking about the movie. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to watch all of the 22 Pokemon films we have gotten, all the way from what you see this video, Pokemon the first movie, to Pokemon Secrets of the Jungle, which is the most recent Pokemon movie that has came out. I'll go talk about all of them and then just go in depth with how much I feel like I want to, and then I'll give you my thoughts on the film, as well as talking about the story points and stuff like that. And, obviously at the end, you'll find out, do I like this movie or do I absolutely hate this movie? Because let's be honest, the Pokemon movies, they can be very decisive amongst the Pokemon community. You have some people that absolutely love some of these Pokemon movies that, in some cases, could be damn near hated. Other than that, you can have some people who hate Pokemon movies that people love. So yes. Anyways, we're talking about the very first Pokemon movie that was graced to us, and that is literally Pokemon the first movie. That's the title. So yes, now the number one thing with the Pokemon movies that is a ongoing trend for years to come is, since sometimes the anime is always focused on Ash's journey to become the very best Pokemon master in the world, there's arcs where they actually dedicate, the story to the legendaries in the game. Sometimes they do it, sometimes they don't. They truly really started focusing on like the legendary aspect of Pokemon in the series from in the Hoenn series a little bit, and then you get that little thing with the whole Team Galactic arc in Diamond and Pearl. The Team Plasma arc was very controversial because they canceled the first one, but then they did the Black and White 2 version of Team Plasma, which, honest to God, I think it flopped, and that arc completely sucked. You obviously had the Team Flare situation with Zygarde. I thought that was dope. The Ultra Beast thing in Sun and Moon, thought that was dope and everything too. And obviously Pokemon Journeys, as of now, is just going through damn near everything. Now, they did do the Sword and Shield legendary plot line in that game, and stuff like that. And I do know, I don't watch the subbed version of Pokemon Journeys, but I do know they do a whole thing with Arceus and everything, which ties into the Arceus Legends Arceus game. But other than that, the Pokemon movies centered around this particular legendary are legendaries in any case of these films. Ash and company of whatever cast of characters he's with at the time, how they deal with these threats from the legendaries and stuff like that. So yes. Anyways, for Pokemon the first movie, it is one of the most iconic Pokemon films of all time. There are some people I know that absolutely love this and say it's the best Pokemon movie ever. While there's other people that are like, it's all right, but it's not that good, to be honest. Um, if you want to get my thoughts, I think Pokemon the first movie, after rewatching it, I think it's a solid film. Personally, I wouldn't say it's like top tier, freaking god tier movie crap. I will say it's a good Pokemon movie for the time being, and stuff like that. And I think it holds up well even enough today. Now the legendary Pokemon in this film revolve around mostly Mewtwo, even though Mew's in this movie, but it's mostly around Mewtwo. And obviously, the running trend about Mewtwo is, who am I? Where am I? What is my name? You know, Mewtwo was essentially Shadow the Hedgehog before Shadow the Hedgehog was a thing. You know, because Shadow always asks those same questions too, just like Mewtwo does. But anyways, let's get into it. Let's get into the film. So essentially, the film starts off well with a Team Rocket scientist who essentially is cloning Pokemon in order to find a way to essentially clone his daughter that tragically passed away. Now, they don't specify how the daughter died, but they just said she had a tragic death. And this guy is so gung-ho of trying to find a way to, bring his daughter back. So he leads to the fact of, let's try to see if we can find the Pokemon that before Arceus was created, it was literally called the god of all Pokemon. That's what Mew was given. That's the title. That was the title of Mew before Arceus was essentially created in Gen 4. So yes, which I find hilarious. But yes, let's go to the source of the Pokemon that has all the DNA of every Pokemon in the world at this point in time. So they managed to go do that. They managed to get a sample, and they're trying to essentially recopy the Mew formula to make another clone so they can find a way to bring his daughter back. Now they end up making the clone, which obviously Mewtwo is the clone of Mew. Simple enough. So Mewtwo's created alongside there's other clones of a Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle. Now, Mewtwo ends up waking up asking these obvious questions, and stuff like that. And in his mind, he sees obviously the three Pokemon and this girl named Amber, who is the Team Rocket scientist's daughter. And essentially, Amber goes and say, these are Pokemon and stuff like that. Like you are, you're a Pokemon too. And he essentially creates a bond with Amber and these Pokemon, only until, guess what? The whole process fails. The clone Pokemon essentially start to die off. And then Amber starts to die off because he had a consciousness of the scientist had a consciousness of his daughter. How the hell he got that? No idea. And they all lost, and Mewtwo is the only one there. So because of this, Mewtwo's obviously like wondering what the hell's going on. Why are my friends leaving me and stuff like that? And then he ends up breaking out of the capsule after, he grows up a bit. And essentially the scientists, which, listen, if you're going to be brought into a world, Team Rocket is definitely not the most idle place to go to, because Team Rocket's obviously very evil. Yes. Anyways, these scientists essentially are telling Mewtwo, hey, we're going to use your power so you can create clones and stuff like that. And essentially, Mewtwo's kind of like, wait, so we're not friends? And essentially, the scientists are like, please, you work for us. Whatever we tell you to do, you have to do it. And Mewtwo's like, yeah, I don't operate like that. And he destroys the facility and kills those scientists, essentially. Those scientists are dead, in the grand terms of layman's terms and stuff like that. So, yeah, and then, of course, the boss of Team Rocket is seeing this. Giovanni, with his cackling, conniving, sniveling self, is like, we can be friends, Mewtwo. We're partners. And stuff like that. And it's like, Oh, and Mewtwo just willingly trusts him. Yes, the Pokemon that has all the power in the world, you know, goes on to trust him. Become partners. Obviously, there was that one Pokemon episode in the anime to where Gary went up against Mewtwo, which they have a tie-in. So if you want to say, is this movie canonical to the main anime? I guess you can say that. This is probably the only movie that's actually, maybe, if you want to get into canon terms, canon to the anime, because if you know the ongoing trend with the Pokemon movies, they're their own offshoot events that take place outside the main journeys of Ash and company. Now, could you fit these movies somewhere in that time frame of the anime? You probably could. You probably could. But in some cases, the movies don't make sense. But honestly, if you want to think the movies are canon to the main anime, you can go ahead. I personally say they're their own offshoot things, and stuff like that. But listen, the Pokemon anime is so large, so humongous, and there's always that filler content where it's like you could probably put in essentially a Pokemon movie at this designated time, and you'd be fine with it. In terms of how this movie would take place, it probably would take place canonically after Ash beats the eighth gym in the original series, because if you're gonna have the clip of when Gary gets defeated by Mewtwo, well, then guess what? Ash goes up in there and he ends up fighting Team Rocket because Giovanni needs a fill-in because of something that came up and everything and stuff like that. And Ash never got to fight Mewtwo until this film. So that's where, if I'm being in terms of canonical, importance, you'd probably put that here, and stuff like that. So yes. Anyways. After essentially Mewtwo starts to realize that Giovanni is essentially using him just for his own personal gain, he leaves and he gets out of there, and he's just like, humans are destructive, are terrible creatures. They're disgusting. And guess what? I have all the power in the world to do what I want, and I will create my own world how I see image. So essentially, because of Team Rocket's abusive behavior, well, you can say that led to Mewtwo being essentially, I guess you can say, a Pokemon that is willing to, honest to God, kill humans, really. And that's where he has his distrust in humans and stuff like that, all because of good old Team Rocket, and stuff like that. Yes, Team Rocket. Anyways, you cut over to Ash and company. After a few years or some time passed and everything. And we see Ash and company, Ash is acting all pathetically lazy, like he can't do nothing and stuff like that, only until a trainer comes across and a Pokemon battle occurs, which happens in every Pokemon movie. You get your intro to the film, the Pokemon battle you get when Ash fights some random, I don't know, trainer in the film, and you get intro to whatever the main theme of that series of the anime was. No, that's only for a few movies. Some of the movies don't play like the anime original song and stuff like that. Like here, obviously, the battle plays the original Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all, Pokemon type of theme. Well, you have the other songs come across where you have some of the more iconic Pokemon themes and stuff like that, fan favorites. I like all the Pokemon openings, and well, in some cases, yes. Not as of late. The Sun and Moon and the Pokemon Journeys openings, yeah, my favorites. So yeah. Anyways, and let you know, I'm watching the English dub version. I'm not watching the Japanese sub version, English dub. So yeah. But anyways, after this whole battle happens, Ash gets a note from a Dragonite, essentially saying, with a letter saying, my master would like to bring you over to his palace so he can challenge you to a Pokemon battle. He is the Pokemon master of the world. So Ash and company are like, oh, really? Okay, let's do it. Also, too, we see later on, really the person pulling the strings is Mewtwo. He creates a storm and everything, and Ash, Misty, and Brock, they all end up going to this one area to where we see these bunch of other Pokemon trainers and everything. Now, the cards said there was going to be a fairy to pick them up, but we see Nurse Joy, and if you watch the dub for this, well, the lady aside next to not Nurse Joy, Officer Jenny, speaks in a Russian accent, and I'm over here just wondering, oh, so Pokemon had there's a Russian Pokemon. There's Russians in Pokemon. Oh, that's great. That's wonderful. Very, very awesome. And stuff like that. Again, the lady was hot as hell. Like Officer Jenny, as well as Nurse Joy and stuff like that. But hey, listen. I found that hilarious. Now, the reasoning is this Russian lady is like, you cannot freaking go over there. You cannot, because why? Oh yes, the storm, it's deadly. And everything. Because we see these other Pokemon trainers that got the same message from Ash about going over to I forgot what it was called. I think it was Treasure Island or some shit or some New Island. That's what they called it. New Island. Yeah, that doesn't sound suspicious at all. An island's just called New Island. Yeah, you probably shouldn't go there. But anyways, these other Pokemon trainers like, but we got this message about the fairy going over there to this new island place to fight the Pokemon Master. And obviously the Russian lady and Officer Jenny are like, you can't do this because this is a big storm. These waves are very dangerous. And guess what? You won't survive. So these Pokemon trainers are just like, okay, really? Well, then we'll just defy logic. Screw it. So these Pokemon trainers all take their own individual Pokemon and, well, they cross the storm. Now, the only smart guy actually had a Pidgeotto, so he essentially flew over the storm. That was probably the safest approach you could take. But you had another guy who had a Gyarados and a girl who had a Blastoise. They literally go through the freaking ocean and everything. And funny enough, Officer Jenny and the Russian lady are like, you can't do that. But then the Russian lady is like, yes, they can, because they're Pokemon trainers. And this is the only way they can become Pokemon masters. And I'm just over here like, so in order to become a Pokemon master, you have to combat the wilds and the natural disasters of, well, the world. And in order to become a Pokemon master, you have to overcome You have to overcome those dreaded events. And put yourself at harm's risk and potentially dying and getting yourself killed to become a Pokemon master. Yes, if Pokemon were real in the real world, I can attest to you, I would not be swimming in the bottomless pit of that is called the ocean because, well, guess what? I need to go fight this Pokemon trainer just so I can become a Pokemon master. Great. And stuff like that. That makes a whole lot of sense. Anyways, Ash, Misty, and Brock, mostly Ash is like, we got to find someone to get to this new island and stuff like that. And Misty's like, but our Pokemon aren't strong enough to combat these currents. And I'm like, yes. Now remember at this time, Ash still has a Squirtle, which even till this day, I'm still pissed off how it's not at least a War Turtle at least. My God. Which funny enough, the ongoing trend with Ash's water type Pokemon is he never evolves them or they never evolve. Yes. Yeah, yep. Well, except for Greninja. But anyways. And then Misty has Staryu. And I guess you could say Psyduck, which always has those head pains, as you remember from the show. But anyways, you have Team Rocket who's involved in this whole mess, this whole operation. Act like they're Vikings. And you get probably one of the most funniest quotes of the series as a whole in terms of English dub. Now, I wish I could show this to you, but I don't want to get copyright stricken. So, essentially, they're talking about, how they look like Vikings and everything, and Brock makes the refs like, I didn't know Vikings are still alive. And Ash makes the funny-ass comment saying, well, they hail from Minnesota, so that's where they come from. And I heard that quote, and I'm like, both fall breaking. Because we're just going to reference the team, the Minnesota Vikings. So if you watch the dub, essentially you just found out the state of Minnesota is in the Pokemon world. Yes. Listen. Okay, sure. The Pokemon world is going to have the real world thing and stuff like that. So yeah. Anyways. Let's get to it because yeah. Anyways, what happens is they find out it's Team Rocket. The tsunami happens, this wave and stuff like that happens, and well, guess what? They all split up. Ash, Misty, Brock, they find each other. They use their water type Pokemon to get over to the new island. They're introduced by this one girl that anonymously does not look like Nurse Joy, but don't worry, we'll get to that in a quick second. And stuff like that. So yeah. But you see, what happens next is Ash and company meet up with the other Pokemon trainers they saw in that one center area. And also too, speaking about the Nurse Joy, Officer Jenny, like before they all left, made the reference like that. Yeah, Nurse Joy has been missing for some sort of time. And throughout this whole thing, Brock's like, she looks a lot like that mysterious lady looks a lot like Nurse Joy. And I'm like, it's Nurse Joy, isn't it? Of course. Anyways, the thing is, the lady is like, my master's coming and stuff like that. So yeah. So we have Mewtwo appear amongst the other trainers and stuff like that. And he's like, well, you've come, and you've come to all die, essentially. He essentially shit talks how people and Pokemon are friends because Pikachu's like, no, you know, this human over here is my friend. And Mewtwo's like, friends? When the hell can Pokemon be friends with humans and stuff like that? So essentially what happens is some of the Pokemon trainers end up trying to fight Mewtwo, but because he's so damn strong, because he's a psychic type, and he's a legendary essentially, he easily swats them away like flies and everything. So yeah, and he also tells the lady, I have no use for you. He essentially says that, oh, guess what? I took away your memories and everything. He pushes her over, her little cap bonnet thing falls off, and lo and behold, it's Nurse Joy! Yes. Mewtwo essentially captured her and erased her memories and everything. So, yes. But essentially what happens is the Pokemon trainers are like, you can't do this, Mewtwo, and everything. And essentially, Mewtwo's whole stance here is humans cannot be trusted, humans are evil and stuff like that, and Pokemon that follow said humans are foolish creatures. So the Pokemon trainers end up asking for battles and everything to take Mewtwo down a peg. So we find out one of these trainers has a Blastoise, Venusaur, and then obviously Ash with his Charizard. Now, we also find out that Mewtwo actually made clones of said Pokemon, which that's what we see that Team Rocket is sniveling about or sneaking around about from the standpoint they snuck into the palace of Mewtwo and they find out, oh, Mewtwo's a clone of Mew, and they see the clones of Charizard, Blastoise, and Venusaur. Essentially, these trainers put their own real life Pokemon against the copies, but they end up getting destroyed easily. And Mewtwo's like, well, look at that. It seems like your strength isn't noticeable and everything. Also, the one thing I did like the fact when Ash brought his Charizard, Mewtwo did make the reference that Charizard is poorly trained because at this point in time, this is when Charizard didn't listen to a word what Ash said, and he was kind of the disobedient Pokemon and stuff like that, which I thought it was a cool arc, but at the same time, I still really hated that arc. But whatever. Anyways, Mewtwo's like, you lost, so that means your Pokemon are mine now. And he starts capturing the Pokemon that lost, as well as all the other Pokemon the trainers have, in these black Pokeball things, so they could be turned into copies. And that's what happens. He ends up catching them and everything, and you know, you get this chase scene with Pikachu and Ash. Pikachu ends up getting captured Also too, we do find out that even Ash is like, oh, we can put them in the Pokeballs, they'll be fine. And Mewtwo's like, psych, I got you there. Because these dark Pokeballs can still capture the Pokemon in the Pokeballs while they're in the Pokeballs, which I find hilarious to see this. But after Pikachu gets captured, Ash follows him down the shaft and essentially and everything. So what happens is Ash is trying to save Pikachu. He ends up doing that, but at the same time, the other Pokemon end up being copied and everything. So they all exit out. While the real Pokemon, they end up getting out of these dark Pokeballs and everything. And so Mewtwo essentially sees the clones come to Mewtwo, and Mewtwo's like, see, guess what? My point is proven. My clones are stronger than the originals and stuff like that. So guess what? We're all going to make sure we finish you off and everything once and for all. And Ash comes in like a badass because he's the main character and he has to get that one badass scene where he walks up and he's going to overcome all the odds. Essentially, Ash is like, that's not going to happen on my watch. I won't let you kill us. I won't let you prove that the copies are not stronger than the originals. And two, I'm also going to show you that we can be friends with Pokemon. So Ash literally tries to punch Mewtwo, and Mewtwo's just like, yeah, nice try. No, I'm a psychic type. That won't affect me and everything. He throws Ash to like a building, which probably at the velocity would have killed him. But he is saved by a big pink bubble, and that is from Mew. Yes, Mew ends up feeling out Mewtwo's presence and everything when he created the storm. So he went over there and he essentially is there. And Mewtwo shocked. He's like, you're here, so you come to fight, and everything. So that ends up in Mewtwo and Mew fighting. But during this whole thing, you probably get one of the most iconic scenes in the series, hands down, and that was when the clones are fighting the originals, or the originals fighting the clones. You just get all these Pokemon fighting each other and stuff like that. Obviously, you get another iconic scene. Again, I wish I could show it, but I don't want to get copyright stricken. But you get the iconic scene where you have the clone Pikachu slapping the real Pikachu, which honestly, that thing is hilarious as shit. It's funny and stuff like that. But essentially, the moral point of this story is adjusted in here from the standpoint, the human characters in this film are essentially saying, these Pokemon shouldn't be able to fight each other like this. This isn't right. Pokemon should not fight like this. What Mewtwo is making them happen isn't cool. Pokemon shouldn't be fighting them like this. Now, listen, I find that whole argument completely pointless and void because said people are saying, this isn't right. The Pokemon shouldn't be fighting each other. That's wrong. Yet these are the same idiotic trainers that are willing to do Pokemon battles with other Pokemon and other trainers to fight for their fun. So their point about that whole thing means meaningless, and that means Mewtwo is right all along. You can end the story right there. See, it kind of makes, I do like this movie, but when I just did analyze that, it doesn't make the point doesn't make sense. But I think what the point's coming across is the fact that Pokemon should not be fighting each other to the death, and stuff like that. Pokemon are living creatures like we humans. They shouldn't be fighting each other in a way to where they're going to kill each other. And you have it to where all these Pokemon, whether it's the originals or clones, are fighting each other, and they're damn near looking on the brink of actually killing each other and stuff like that. And the only one Pokemon that's actually trying to talk down everybody is Pikachu. He's trying to tell the clone Pikachu, listen, this isn't right. We shouldn't be fighting like this. We essentially, are the same. And so, which that's what happens with Meowth that ends up talking to his clone self. Which, funny enough, Team Rocket's like, oh, I don't like this, at all. I'm like, really? But you're the same people who work for the same evil team that made Mewtwo get this idealistic thought in his head that all humans are bad, and Pokemon that follow said humans are also evil too, and stuff like that. And you're the same people that go after Pikachu 20,000 times throughout the entirety of this series, and you'll do whatever it costs, whatever it takes to take him. But essentially, what Meowth has with this clone, with his clone version, is the fact that they talk about the fact that, we may be different from each other. I may be an original, you may be a clone, but all in all, we're still the same Pokemon. We're still the same thing. We still have the same traits. We still look similar, and we probably still even act similar to each other. We're the same, essentially, and there's no need to fight. And that's kind of the moral of the story, that Pokemon and humans can coexist. Pokemon shouldn't be fighting, and the fact that, which is kind of the main thing, is the fact that it doesn't matter if it's a clone, a copy, a different skin color. Everybody, through their core, is the same exact person, a living creature, which, if only the real world could see it right now, maybe there would be no racism here. But anyways, that's the whole thing there and everything. And throughout the fight with Mewtwo and Mew, they're just dishing out these attacks. They come crashing down on the battlefield. It looks like they're going to launch an attack, a pretty devastating attack. Again, you get another iconic scene where Ash takes the hit in between Mew and Mewtwo. They're both shocked. Mew and Mewtwo are both shocked. He lies over, and you get Ash dying in this film. Yes, Ash dies in the first movie. Now, he dies in a way of turning to stone. Now, don't ask me how that, but I guess it was a way so they didn't make it look like, oh, he's dead. But no, he turns to stone. He's dead. And Mewtwo's like, he willingly took the blast to protect all the Pokemon. A human did that and everything. And yes, you get obviously the sad iconic scene where Pikachu's obviously emotionally crying because Ash is dead. And all the other Pokemon end up crying because they're like, wait, this wasn't supposed to happen. I didn't think we were good. There was somebody going to die. And their tears essentially, for all this thing, end up bringing Ash back to life. Now, don't know the logic in that. Don't care. Makes no sense to me. They don't really make it a thorough explanation how Ash was able to come back from the dead. But because of tears from Pokemon and clones, yeah. And stuff like that. But anyways, Ash is back alive. Mewtwo then realizes, oh shit, I made a mistake. I'm guessing I was wrong this entire time about the fact that people and Pokemon can coexist and stuff like that. Honestly, I would have been freaking more understanding if Mewtwo just realized there are some bad humans in the world, but at the same time, there are some good people in the world. He essentially Mewtwo realizes this whole point of the fact, you know what? Pokemon can coexist. My ways were wrong and stuff like that. Humans and Pokemon can coexist. The whole fact that some humans are good, some humans are bad. That's the whole thing. He ends up taking the clones away, and he's like, thank you for showing me this way, you Pokemon trainers. But for the time being, I'm going to make sure you don't remember this at all. So I'm going to erase your memories. He flies off. Ash and Company's memories are erased. They essentially, the movie ends up the place where they were back before they ended up going to New Island when the storm and everything was going on and everything. The only difference is Nurse Joy's there and everything, and then the storm ends sooner than later. Also, too, none of the Pokemon trainers, including Ash, they focus on Ash, Misty, and Brock specifically, and they're like, how the hell did we end up here? And they're like, no idea. Yes. Okay. Yeah, so they go outside. The storm stopped. Ash ends up seeing Mew flying in the sky. Misty and Brock are like, no, dude, you look in the sky. And Ash is like, when I started my Pokemon journey, I saw a freaking Pokemon, which is referencing seeing Ho-Oh with Pikachu. And he's like, I wonder if that's the same Pokemon and stuff like that I saw. And I'm like, no, he didn't, but whatever. So yes. And that's kind of it. That's kind of the end of the movie. That's truly it. So yeah. Pokemon the first movie. That's it. Well, okay. All right. What are my thoughts on the film as a whole? Listen, I'll say this. I think a lot of the Pokemon community is always stuck on the fact that they grew up with the original Pokemon series, and that's why you have a lot of people saying this is the best Pokemon movie of all time. Even you have some people say that. Listen, in the grand scheme of things, is this movie a good movie? Yes, I think Pokemon the first movie is a good, solid film. Is it the damn best Pokemon movie of all time? I don't know yet because I have to watch the other 21 movies to get my thoughts. Personally, if you ask me, I say no. Honestly, I think my favorite Pokemon movies come down to either being I Choose You or the Power of Us. Both of those are two of my favorite Pokemon movies, if not my favorite. I will say this. I think Pokemon the first movie is a good Pokemon movie, but by no means do I think it's the greatest Pokemon movie of all time. It does have its flaws, and stuff like that. I know I didn't point this out and I kind of come across the story, just really talk about the story, but it does have its flaws, and everything. Mewtwo's kind of ideology is kind of makes sense, but at the same time, it doesn't make sense. You know, the whole thing there. I think it would have better been. I think it would have been better, clearer if he just had an issue with humans, which he did. But if they specified more of, oh, if you're gonna trust humans, then stuff like that and everything. I think they dumbed it down a little bit more to the fact that there are good humans out there, but at the same time, there are bad humans as well. It would have made it the story a lot more morally gray, or more understanding of the fact that, Mewtwo thinks all humans are bad and everything. But what am I saying? That's kind of what he does think in the film, and stuff like that. The fact that he comes to the understanding, oh, not all humans are bad, not all humans are good, and stuff like that. So yeah. And then it's like the fact that you have it to where, guess what? Mewtwo just like, yeah, I'm just gonna wipe your memory and stuff like that, so you don't remember this tragic experience. I'm like, no, I think they should probably have the memories of this tragic experience. So this hits hard with them of saying, maybe I might have a different analysis of what I do when I do Pokemon battles. Because that's what could have happened. Literally, this movie taught the Pokemon trainers, like, you know what? Even though I love Pokemon battle, maybe doing Pokemon battles isn't right. Because really, we're making these creatures fight each other for our pure enjoyment. I don't know if that's right. And stuff like that. They could have really taken it some sort of angle right there. That's honestly an interesting plot point there. Is it okay to actually have Pokemon battles? Is it okay to freaking pit your Pokemon against other Pokemon? Insanity. But then Mewtwo's like, yep, I'm going to erase your memories. And I'm just like, then what the hell was the point of this movie to begin with? Which is another negative on my point. I kind of hate movies when they do the whole thing at the end of the film when, oh, I'm just going to take your memories away from the event that you just witnessed. And because of it, it kind of makes the movie pointless. And because of it, you're just like, so our characters just learned a lesson through this film, only to not learn this lesson. So what the hell was the point, anyway, of this film? If you're just going to erase Ash and company's memories from understanding the truth. Because if you didn't do that, maybe Ash, Misty, and Brock get out and they actually have a different opinion about Pokemon battles and how Pokemon should be treated. Like, seriously, but Mewtwo, no, let's erase that and forget all of that. And I hate those plot points when you get introduced to a character only to have the main characters of the film forget whatever happened. Because then guess what? When the memories are forgotten, boom. It's like as the movie never even was a thing. So I think that's kind of the biggest thing that kind of lets down this film too, if you ask me. It kind of lowers it down a bit because it's like, well, then this movie's not worth it. It was just here to just see Mewtwo, and that's what I kind of feel. Honestly, looking back at it now, that's what I feel like this movie was for. Just to see Mewtwo in a film. Because overall, your movie's supposed to hit home with the characters. And I know, like I said, the movies aren't canonical to the events of the main series, but Jesus. It's like, man, we could have got that and stuff like that. So yeah, but Pokemon the first movie, I think it's a solid film. I enjoy it, and I think it's obviously a nostalgic classic film for Pokemon fans. And if you haven't seen Pokemon the first movie, somehow, if you do watch the series of Pokemon or you're a fan of Pokemon, I highly request you watch the anime, or I highly request you watch the movie. You might get enjoyment compared to me, where I was like, oh, it's okay. It's okay. I wouldn't say it's groundbreaking. I wouldn't say it's the best Pokemon movie created. Now, if you feel differently than I do, hey, you're more entitled to your own opinion. If you love this movie and you say it's the best movie out there, I'm not going to judge you. That's your favorite Pokemon movie. Not for me. It's honestly kind of, to be honest, in the middle of the pack for me. After I'm done with reviewing all the Pokemon films, I'll probably do a tier making list. And I'll have my tier ranking list of favorites to least favorites and stuff like that. So yeah, but other than that, yeah, so I'm done with Pokemon the first movie review. Hit that like button if you like this video. Put in the comment section your thoughts on Pokemon the first movie. Do you love it? Do you not like it? Are you in the middle about it? What's your thoughts on the film? As well as hit that subscribe button if you want to get more Pokemon content in terms of my movie reviews, as well as any of the other anime content I upload to the channel. So next time, we'll be talking about the second Pokemon movie, Pokemon the Movie 2000, which is centered around Lugia and the 3 legendary birds. But other than that, guys, I'm McGettifer. Hopefully, you guys have a great rest of your day or night. I'm checking this video. Until then, guys, catch you guys later. Stay safe out there. Peace.